Welcome back to College Conversations. I'm Dr. Fedor, and I help you navigate college. Please remember to hit like and subscribe and share this video with other students who also might find it helpful. I have a lot of students ask me questions about cheating and about doing group work and sharing files, sharing information. There seems to be a gray area with some technologies and some formats as far as, is this my own work, or, does this turn into cheating when I do this? So there's a lot to unpack here. So today I have Professor Daniel Ball from Molloy College here to help me unpack some of these issues. Welcome to College Conversations.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So you've taught college for a long time, and you've seen in recent years, there's more nuanced questions regarding cheating and the use of Excel and technology, especially in the last couple of years with COVID and the pandemic, and how we've had to move virtually all classes online and make them remote and rely on technology and Zoom meetings and sharing files and so forth. Can you tell me some of the things that you've struggled with lately?
Yes, it really is. It's an exciting time period to be in with the technology that has evolved, that has allowed us to perform computations, to work on teams. There's a lot that we have at our disposal now. And I think our students have grown to be very comfortable in this technological world, especially over the last few years. But it does bring a lot of challenges to the whole learning process, how we approach quantitative courses from faculty and students. I think one of the things that I see is students bypassing more of the traditional learning process. So the idea of manually writing formulas down, doing some sample calculations before moving over to Excel. It's such a great tool to do that. It's a great practice to do that. When you do build your Excel file, you can verify your spreadsheet, you can reinforce your learning retention and really help ensure that you're learning the material. But from a faculty standpoint, when we look at that and we see an Excel file coming in, we're able to now track your process and really make sure that you're learning the material. And it does help distinguish the difference between developing a spreadsheet, submitting a spreadsheet, and also showing the work that went behind that spreadsheet.
This is why we don't hand third graders a calculator to learn long division, right? We need to know that they know the steps involved in the process before letting them play with the technology.
Exactly. And mathematics can be very overwhelming. I love math. I've taught math for a long time. My background was actually as an engineer, but I was very slow at math. And I was very intimidated when I would see a problem and I wouldn't know how to tackle it right away. So I would always have to go to the library, break a larger problem down into very small steps and learn each step incrementally before I could even understand and feel comfortable with the mathematics. With spreadsheets, there's that temptation to jump right to coding a spreadsheet. And you have this beautiful spreadsheet that has a lot of really good functions and use for you. But without writing that process down, it's very easy to forget what the spreadsheet's actually doing, which formulas are buried in each cell. And so the overall process, the overall learning piece is missed, I think.
And that's something that the students are in college. Obviously, they're paying tuition to learn Excel, to learn accounting, to learn finance and everything. And then if they graduate, never having to learn the sort of the backdoor or the background, the fundamental formulas. And then if something goes wrong, they won't know how to recreate it. And that's something that we have to keep that in mind. What can students do who are assigned group work where they feel it's potentially cheating, where they're sharing their work? Can you comment on that?
Yes, and it's something that is common. And I think oftentimes the student does not know when they're crossing that line between working on a team, solving a problem collaboratively, because we want students to work with each other and become comfortable working on teams. But then how do you distinguish what work you did versus what somebody else did? And that's challenging. I always suggest that students, first of all, try and tackle the problem on their own first before they work on the group, and try and build your own spreadsheet. It's very important. I think going back to when I was a student, we may have sat around a table and had our manual work and tried to figure things out and help each other fill in gaps where we may be struggling, which is very, very beneficial in that learning process. But when we have a few students sitting around a computer and building an Excel file and building it together, it's very similar to watching a YouTube video. I like to pretend to play guitar, and you can go to a YouTube video and you can look at how do you play this song, but until you pick up the guitar and put your fingers on the strings and the frets and actually practice that, it's you're not learning this. So even if one of the classmates is building the file and everyone thinks they're part of that process, it's building your own file alongside where you're really going to learn that. So what I always recommend, work on teams, work in groups if you want, but build your own file. Make sure that you're developing your own ability to build that spreadsheet, because that's really where you're going to learn. And from the faculty standpoint, when we get submissions, we'll often be able to go in and really see who's authored the file. There's a lot of identifiers that we have. And oftentimes we realize that there really wasn't any intent to violate an academic integrity, but it's really difficult for us to distinguish what you've done versus what other people on your team have done. So I always say, try and build your models out manually, really understand that, get together in your group, and still build your spreadsheets alongside each other.
That's great advice, Professor Molloy, because at the end of the day, the students are going to be taking their final exams as an individual, not as a group. They'll take the CPA exam as an individual, and it will be, they need to know what they're doing in the end. For more detailed help navigating college, check out my course, College 101, How College Works, on Udemy. Thanks for watching, and remember to keep learning.